All right, it is the NFL Roundtable Talk. So far, all I got is Lions fans, and do not give two shits because guess what? All the news is Lions news today. Isn't that fantastic, guys?
No, it's kind of boring.
No,
I'm fine with it. News is news.
waiting to see if a couple people join up watching real quick before we do the intro. But I'm on Raw, and Sewell gets paid. Adam Schefter reports Goff does not. I don't know who's been saying that all off season. I've been warning everybody that they're probably waiting to see if we make a Super Bowl. And it makes perfect sense. Because guess what? Not a single quarterback that's lost his first appearance in the Super Bowl has ever made it back.
Yep.
Not lost a Super Bowl, lost his first appearance in the Super Bowl. Those are key words there.
Very
Right,
true.
now that we got a few watching, we're going to go.
Show up here locally in the community. Make sure y'all go check out Meat Cat Body by Jeremy Plum.
There we are. We're here. I'm going to get rid of the background music for a minute so we can talk about the deals that we did. And I actually think they're great deals. Amon Ra gets his 4-year extension, 4 years, 120 million, but it actually goes over 5 years, which makes the cap hit each year about 24.67 million. And I think that's a great move. Puts him right about that 25 million that was predicted he'd get all along. But the 5th year is a void year where he's not on the roster and it still counts against the cap unless they restructure or resign him. What do you think about the deal, Von Doom?
I don't know, man. I still think they're all a bunch of greedy pricks.
Gotcha.
But he is one of the best freaking receivers in the league. So, am I saying he deserved the top end money? Probably not. But I want to see what the Lakers are going to do now that Jefferson saw that contract.
Mm-hmm. He already turned down 30 million a year flat. It was a 3-year, 30 million a year deal with 100% guaranteed, and he turned it down. Goff got, what was it, 77 million guaranteed out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what, 2/3 guaranteed, basically. I think it was an amazing deal. And then they turn around an hour later, and what do they announce? Sewell gets his 4-year, $122 million contract, which means it breaks down to 30.6666666666 Infinity 6. I had to say more than 3 because I won't stop at 3.
Exactly.
But and I believe his deal is kind of in the same format, no less. Let me go. But since they already picked up his 5th year option, it's kind of perfect. Orlando Escobar tells Smoking Dad, "Hey, Dad," because you know what? We are all family as Lions fans for the most part. Leonard is the only one that doesn't consider us family because he's mainly a Giants fan, but that's all right. That's why we do this show on Wednesday nights. But going forward during the season, we're also going to have a night dedicated to Von Doom and his Giants.
Giants, brother.
Say what?
Giants, brother.
Giants, yeah, and his Giants. We're going to have a night just for him, where he gets to lead the show the whole 9 yards. I think that's a brilliant way to do it. I think that's a fair way to do it. Let him have a night to talk about his team where he doesn't have. Granted, we're probably going to have to make another page that's like all NFL access or something, or get admin rights to a page so we can have it go into that.
So my thoughts on the deals, I liked them a lot. The cool thing about Amon Ra, we were talking backstage, Jeremy, is in 430 career targets, he has a 1.2% drop rate. That's insane. That's just insane. That is just God tier numbers. And for Penei Sewell, he was ended up as the second best pass blocking win rate for right tackles last year at 93%. So these guys definitely deserve their deals.
So many rumors on what the Giants are doing. What is the Giants doing right now? What is the word there, Von Doom?
Who the fuck knows, man?
Because every day it's something different.
Supposedly they may stay at 6 and take Nabbers and then try to trade back in later for Penix. Then there's also rumors they may try to trade up with freaking the Patriots or Drake May. I have no goddamn idea what they're doing, honestly, now.
Lots of smoke screen is what I'm hearing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree with that?
Yes, I do.
So that being said, I think these two contracts are huge. And it also goes to exactly what I was saying. I bet you our 2 All-Pros get signed to get before anybody else gets done out of what's coming up.
That's 100% why freaking Penei was signed now. It will save money in the long term.
I mean, the first year is going to cost them because of the guaranteed and the signing bonus. And John Cedron, you are absolutely right. All signs are pointing that they're trading out of the first, and I'm perfectly okay with it. I've been saying that the trade back scenario makes way more sense than trading up. Dan Campbell pretty much told everybody to wear a diaper. Go ahead.
I cannot wait to hear Jared Goff traded tomorrow, and the Lions moved up.
I don't think that's happening.
I'm
interested.
Go ahead.
How's our cap for rookies, Xavier? It all hinges on whether or not they void Sutton's contract. Until that's done,
we don't know what to do with that.
We don't know what we can do. Because right now we have enough room for our rookies. We have enough room for probably injury signings after that. But if they don't void Sutton's contract, I know, Cedron, I didn't say they're going to trade him. But at the same time, while everybody's on pins and needles waiting to hear if Goff is getting an extension, Adam Schefter reported this afternoon there is no imminent deal being done for Goff. And it's because he wants a pay raise this year. Am I saying he doesn't deserve it? No. But we don't have the cap room to give him one this year.
I'm saying he don't deserve it.
Orlando Escribano says, okay, so the 2 contracts didn't kill our cap. No. As a matter of fact, it only gave St. Brown a $3.36 million pay raise this year. So that's huge. Penei Sewell, because he's on his 5th-year option, it will get added on in 2025. So it's no big deal this year. It didn't hurt our cap at all.
Yeah, I'm interested to see if the Lions do trade out of the first, who it will be with.
I'm hoping it's your Panthers because I heard you guys want to move ahead of the Chiefs to take a wide receiver before they grab the last good one.
We have been looking at Xavier Leggett, and I would love him here and then
But I
an
don't
O
think he's a
lineman
first round talent. I think you could stay right where you're at and get him. And
I
you might
agree.
even
You know what's
get him
funny?
in the third round.
The Panthers GM has said he told Xavier Leggett he was going to take him if he's there, but then he also said we also told that to 50 other guys.
Right. So yeah,
I
you're
don't
high on
like our
Leggett,
GM
but
anyway.
you've also said you've also said the same thing to Cooper DeJean. You've also said it to Kool-Aid McKinstry. You've also said it to like 5 different offensive tackles. You said it to a total of 8 wide receivers. Oh yeah, if you're there, we're taking you. So I think the smart move, if you're going to move up past the Chiefs, you take the one with the best hands available, and that's probably a Donnie Mitchell.
I agree.
And I think it would be the 33rd pick, the 101, and probably like a future third is all you'd have to do to move up into the first round with the Lions. And
I agree.
I think it's a good move for you guys. It's a great move for us.
Oh
And
yeah.
Living It Up Leonard says, "Hey, you guys," instead of hi to each person individually because she doesn't want to offend her husband.
No, I agree because Leggett definitely is the second round talent. If we do stay there, I can see us for sure getting him. But we'll see what the draft says.
And Orlando Escobar Jr. says, "Damn, Holmes is a genius." Well, you got to remember he's got somebody in his front office that makes these deals like this great. It's Matt Dunstall, the capologist, the guy from Harvard. I give him so much more credit. Mike Disner is the one that figures out how many years the contracts are. Matt Dunstall is the one that figures out the money.
That's awesome.
So between those two guys, they look at the money and they sit there and go, "Oh, yep, that's a good deal."
Very cool.
Underrated heroes, yes. And as long as he's here, and think about it, the Commanders tried to poach him to be an assistant GM and their chief financial officer, which is
Wow.
actually Matt Dunstall's position here with the Lions is chief financial officer. He's the one that decides who gets paid what and how much.
Very cool.
Rumors is the Patriots might trade back that they don't really want Drake May.
Hmm.
Normally, bean counters are jerks. In the situation when you have a hard cap, I mean, cap is fluid to an extent, but it is a hard cap overall. It helps.
Yep.
So far, 2 All-Pros signed. We've let a Pro Bowler walk. Chad Datima. Hi, Jeremy, my friend. I called it, Chad. I said St. Brown and Panay Sewell would be the ones that get a deal done, but I thought they'd wait a year on Sewell. I'm glad they didn't. They got a great deal. His contract doesn't start to the 2026/2027 season, so it's great. Bean counters are only jerks because guess what? Ken Fisher says Goff should honor his present contract and get his raise on his next contract year when it would begin. I've always felt the contract you sign and your accomplishments, good or bad, during that span of the contract determines if you get a raise or not during the end or middle of an existing contract, especially if there's not enough money to go around currently.
I agree 100%.
Yep, and Orlando, it's actually even less because there's no new streaming services getting a new contract. All that was the bonuses from the new service contracts of Paramount and all those guys that got into streaming football last year. It was a bunch of added money nobody expected after the Apple TV and Amazon thing.
That's not 100% true though, because they're going to auction off a playoff game to
Right.
the streaming services. Whoever bids the highest gets it.
Right, but it's for one game. I don't know how much that's going to be. It's not going to be like streaming for the year. And Fred Peterson, good evening. It's a great day to be a Lion. One pride. Fred Peterson, in case you haven't heard it, Panay Sewell. Great deal. We got him locked up for 9 total years now.
That's awesome.
We got Amon Ra locked up for 8, but he's on the books for 9. We got Panay Sewell on the books for 9, or on the books for 10, but he's here for 9. Lord, a manner of time, Super Bowl is pay-per-view. I've been saying ever since pay-per-view came out, eventually the playoff games will be pay-per-view. King SJ says, "Hey guys, how you doing there from Mr. Canada?"
Oh, Mr. Great White North of Canada.
Yes. How you doing, eh?
My friend calls them White Walkers.
That's right. They are on the other side of the wall. Currently watching the story of Ernie Davis. What a tragic end to a player who never played it down in the NFL. Leukemia sucks. Fred Peters says, "Yeah, I caught it on Russ's show. I was working, so I didn't get a chance to talk much." Well, I'm glad you were able to be here before you do your sleep study. It must be starting soon, correct?
I need a sleep study done.
I need a sleep study done too. They'll say, "Jesus Christ, how do you live on 4 hours of sleep?"
4 hours. Those are lovely numbers. Fucking rookie.
Thoughts on Lions trading up, potentially, according to Albert Breer? Clickbait.
I think it sounds great. They should do it.
Yeah, I'm about to get hooked up in a few. Well, I'm glad you could be here. After what Dan Campbell said today about, when you're sitting there at 29, you've got maybe 5 players you like in the first round. And Orlando Escribano Jr. chimes in on Dan Campbell's page. Unless we trade Goff.
Trade his ass. Go.
I said, hey, you know what? They need a QB. Let's trade him to the Patriots.
Yeah.
Get the 3rd pick overall, and then we don't have to worry about it. We can take whatever corner or edge rusher we want.
Bingo.
They want me to do a sleep study, and I can do it at home. So I'm going to attach it to my cat. It sleeps about 20 hours a day.
That's perfect.
Oh, if we trade Goff, we save $25.5 million in cap. Right. That's why I wouldn't trade him. If you trade him now and Hooker isn't ready and we go into the season like that, but all our picks get really good next year. I do have a point there.
It makes me wonder.
Yes, I did. I already reported that. Shifty said the Goff deal is not imminent.
Take that, David White.
Evangelist Karen Porter out in Southfield, Michigan is watching. Your hearts as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Less than 24 hours now. Yes, 23 hours from now is when they'll announce that the draft has begun, and Roger Goodell will be booed as usual. Doesn't sound like they are in a rush to extend him. I've said they're not, because he wants a pay raise this season. How many times have I said he turned down $43 million right after the bye week last year? It's been reported he wants $46 million plus. We don't have the money. We don't have the money to pay that this year for him. He wants a pay raise this season. This is the most that he will have made on his newest contract since he restructured. And he goes, Holmes isn't waiting. Feeling a trade for Goff is real. I don't think it is, but if the right price is given, 100%. I am definitely ready for the NFL draft on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Right now, because he's been playing at a top 10 QB level, top 5 at times. Do you disagree with that statement?
No.
He'll probably get almost the same thing we got for Stafford, just no player in the process. I'm thinking maybe 2 firsts and a third.
Do you think there will be any players traded tomorrow, like physical players who are in the league right now?
I really don't see it happening. I don't see that going. You think McNeil or Barnes will get extended? I think those are both guys, because Barnes lost his starting position to a rookie that didn't have a great season, but was playing better than him. And it all started, and how it started for him to go downhill, the icing on the cake was missing the sack on Dak Prescott in that Dallas Cowboys game, because that led to a 92-yard. I get it. Ken can't make it through the days anymore without being jacked up on energy drinks. At my appointment, the doctor read the results. Last one I did 8 years ago, my oxygen was about 74%. My Von Doom's off camera, so. But I think they're going to let McNeil and Barnes play this as a prove-it year on their rookie contracts for the last.
He has returned.
Yeah, what's up?
Okay, I said Goff has played as top 10 to occasionally a top 5 level behind this O-line, correct? Statistically. So there's no reason, because that's better than Matt Stafford ever did while he was here, correct? There's no reason why, if they did put him on the hook for a trade, that we shouldn't expect almost the same type of return as we got for Stafford minus a player, pick-wise.
Yeah, yes, there is, because it was just a bullshit trade. It was literally just to get rid of fucking Jared Goff. It's the only reason you guys got those picks.
Yeah, but he's been playing like he's worth that first pick overall now.
I don't see it. I don't see him being worth 2 first-round picks personally.
I said a future first, a future third, and a first this year.
Bag of fucking shit.
And you might spread those out where each one's from a different year. I left my math teacher of a wife a note saying, I'm spending an evening with a 30-year-old that I met at work. Thank you for years of faithfulness. I'm finally going to have a little action that I haven't had lately at home. When I got home, my math teacher wife left me a note saying she's running off with the plumber, who was also 30 years old, and she would see me in 2 or 3 days, because that 30 goes into a 65 a lot easier than a 65 into a 30.
Oh my God, I knew that was leading somewhere.
Leave my Jared Goff alone. I understand. But the writing's on the wall that this is a prove-it year for Goff, too. Because if Goff plays this year and we don't go to the Super Bowl or win the Super Bowl, he won't be here next year.
Well, baby Hand Goff ain't going to be there next year. Get a guy that can throw the deep ball to freaking J-Mo.
J.C. Latham is now the betting favorite to go to the Chargers, and that makes sense.
They need
to
protect
to the Chargers. That means he's going to jump Joe Alt as the number 1 fucking tackle in the draft.
Yep.
Wow.
But it makes sense that they would go O-line. I think they'd go Joe Alt myself. But let me go see who's the highest rated offensive tackle in my little prospect book.
Who's on the cover?
Pink fingernail boy.
Oh, I thought it would have been a kicker. I thought it would have been Diego Guardado.
He's actually jumping, according to that, he'd be jumping up ahead of 5.
No, J.C. Latham from Alabama.
Number 1 they have is Alumoyaya Fashanu of Penn State. Number 2, they got Joe Alt of Notre Dame. Number 3 is Kingsley Sumataya, Brigham Young. Number 4 is Amarius Mims. Number 5 is Tyler Guyton. And number 6 is J.C. Latham.
Where's Laitu Laitu? Probably like behind him.
That's defensive end.
Oh, silly me. I'm thinking of someone else here.
You know,
I hear what you're saying. Wait, no. That's not it, Ken. You're not missing the point. I didn't blame Goff for how he played in that game, but did he play good enough to win? Did he play good enough to win? He threw 1 touchdown pass in garbage time at the end of the game.
Didn't play good enough.
Honestly, Von Doom, that's the only reason I want Goff out. IV shot ducks that fly straighter than his long balls. Never underestimate my special favorite player, team player, quarterback, Jared Goff. We will win the first time Super Bowl bound trophy and ring next season in 2024-25. Well, if he
Special
doesn't,
teams, special players.
I love it, Von Doom.
Von Doom hates Goff with a passion, and I get it
He does.
because he did torch the Giants.
That bitch lost me a lot of money in the Super Bowl.
Hey, you should be just as mad at the wide receivers that drop passes from him.
Tuesday.
Shut up.
Shut up.
Man, all of them Jared Goff chants, even at the Wings game, he's got to give us a discount. He's not.
Oh, he would never.
Tuesday. Sorry for cursing. This is a family show. ZBF. What is ZBF?
Sounds like someone's initials for the draft.
Mrs. Karen P. Porter. Are you really David Pike's burner account?
No, stop. She's a nice lady. She's a pastor and an evangelist. You stop. You don't pick on
Oh, man. I need to know these things in advance before I start picking on people.
Yep. $41 million cap hit and 28%. They're both backloaded big time because by that time there should be even more money available. And besides, he goes, sorry, typo. 40. You know what? They are both backloaded. Evangelist Karen Porter. Evangelist. Gotcha. You're still a member of clergy.
Yes.
Orlando Escribano says no one's paying Goff what he wants. He's pulling a Jamal Williams move that's going to blow up in his face. Question for VD. Do you hate more, Goff or Danny Dimes?
Goff all day. Daniel Jones, his only issue is that he's fragile. That's not his fault. He was born with bad genetics.
We're talking about the fastest QB in the NFL still.
Uh-huh.
He runs
He has
so
a top
fast.
speed faster than Lamar Jackson.
Wait. He runs so fast he trips over his own feet. That's no bullshit. You can say it was the turf monster, but I didn't see any of that grass reach up and grab him. That was him clapping his toes against his heel because he was running so fast.
Have we seen a quarterback have a run that long since, though?
Nope. Yawn.
Right.
Nothing
Good
late
luck
after. Hello, DC. Oh, yeah. Fuck the Packers. That's a great way to exit there, Fruity Fred. Watch Goff to the Giants next year. Fair enough, VD. Just curious. No, Von Doom, you can take that down now. That's enough. Or did you freeze?
Oh, I didn't freeze.
Oh, okay.
He was just making a point.
Yes.
Touch not God appointed or anointing all weapon form against me will not prosper. All right. He said that stood for Goff's number one?
Yeah, something like that.
In a different language.
Any agent is always going to do the talking when it comes to money. Goff can say whatever he wants in an interview about, oh, I'm not all about the money. But guess what? The agent does what the player wants.
Yeah.
Pray more, talk less. Well, unfortunately, this is a talking show, so I have to talk, Miss Porter. Or Mrs. Porter, I should say. We couldn't hear VD, so he had to turn it up. Jamal Agent should be fired. Yeah, because he actually signed for the exact same thing that we offered him in New Orleans. And wow, if it wasn't for them having a penalty that shouldn't have been called on the 1 yard line there, he would only bridle your tongue.
Didn't he have one touchdown? Just one.
One touchdown, and it was in the last game of the year. A penalty that put him on the one. That
Because
shouldn't have.
Jameis Winston's a G.
Jameis Winston probably should have ran it in, but guess what? He said, here you go. Have a touchdown.
They told him to kneel the ball, and he's like, nah, we ain't doing that.
I remember that.
That's why he's not in New Orleans anymore.
He's a free agent, isn't he?
He's a Brown.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah. Almost the same thing, right?
No, not even close. The Browns are good now, Will.
Their defense is good. Their offense is
Their offense put up ridiculous yards the last 5 weeks of the season with Joe Flacco throwing the ball into
true.
the degenerate freaking Deshaun Watson.
And you said Joe Flacco's name wrong, by the way.
No, I didn't.
It's Joe Flacco.
Joe Flacco won a Super Bowl, was one of the best freaking quarterbacks the last half of the year, so I don't want to hear that crap.
Xavier Leggett has been a second to third rounder the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Ken Fisher says, I feel if we get that kicker from the Panthers and he is as good as he looks so far, easily 3 games in the column, we might have lost because of lack of field goal kicker. Well, it's undone. I leave in the morning to head to my hotel. We pick up our press credentials at 4 o'clock so we can get in there and be talking. 13 or 14 wins, yeah, because we did lose a couple by just a point.
I wish we were there.
You can wish all you want. You got to earn it. You want something, go out and earn it. That's all I got to say. I put in a lot of hard work. Von Doom's read many of my articles. I had nothing to do with that. Oh, you're going to be there on Friday? Fantastic. Yeah, each day the press credentials are handed out at 4 o'clock, from 4 to 5. So that's what time we'll be there.
Nice. Can't wait to see footage.
Enjoy and have fun, Jeremy. Take some pictures and maybe bring them. Oh, 100% I'm taking pictures and bringing them back.
He'll show a slideshow probably next show.
I'm sorry, JB. I was wrong for that. It was two-handed, right?
No. Lions are so poverty. Yeah. Bears are poverty too. Haven't had a 4,000-yard passer in their entire team history. Making a slot receiver a slot receiver who's played better than your number 1 wide receiver.
Oh, look who it is. It's his favorite.
Cousin Gay.
Oh.
Cousin Gay.
Mrs. Kim.
He does pray.
Oh, that's really cool.
Go Lions all day long. Because look at it this way, Caleb Williams only won a Heisman because everybody that was in front of him either got hurt or played poorly in their conference championship.
Amen.
Oh, yeah, it had nothing to do with the 45 touchdowns and 5 interceptions.
It had nothing to do with that. You're right, because he was rated behind all of them. He was not for Heisman at the week of the conference champions. He was even behind Blake Corum. Blake Corum hurt his leg, remember? In the conference championship game.
And we all know who probably would have won Heisman if he didn't get hurt.
I am wondering if they're giving away any free gear of your favorite football team player on all 3 days. I don't know. I hope I get something. I don't know what the media package is because I've never done any of these things. That I have no clue. I do know I'll be fed 1 meal a day. That's fantastic.
Are you going to get NFL Detroit draft hat?
Yeah. I'll probably get that at Rally House on the way home.
It's going to be like Fire Fest. They're going to give them bologna and cheese sandwiches.
Could be. You never know. I actually think they'll probably do like Coney's and fries from Lafayette or National Coney.
Dude, I'm so happy for you. We'll talk backstage.
You'll get a $50 hot dog and a $40 beer. Poor VD, he looks exhausted. He is. He worked from 4 a.m. to almost 6 something tonight, right?
Dude, that's a long, long day.
I think I
But
do
it's
this
60-hour work week.
It's going good outside of a fuck up I made on my own. Today should have been an easy day, but because I didn't pay attention when I was doing the order yesterday for the one thing, I ordered close to like 500 extra cases of Gatorade that I didn't need.
Is your shift tomorrow easier, Vondu? Or are you going to be
Have
dead?
fun. See you guys later. Great show.
I have no idea, man. I'm going to try to make it an early day tomorrow.
Yeah,
Oh my
because I'll be available tomorrow night.
That's
Like I
such a
said.
homer take.
What?
He said Darnell Wright clears Sewell.
Oh my God.
How many sacks did Darnell Wright give up last year? Wasn't it like 6? No, how many did Penei Sewell give up? 0.
Yeah.
Then I have Friday and Saturday off, so it's all good.
And he goes, then you got to come home and deal with our crap. You're a trooper. Dave Eastman gives out a FTP. Put an FDB in the chat for Cousin Gay.
FTB.
Fuck the Bears.
The Bears. It's the Lions and Tigers. Oh my.
Hey, for intimidation factor of the NFC North, I am more afraid of Lions, Bears, and Vikings than a box packer. Actually, Adam Schefter reported Goff is not getting a deal today.
He must get his news under the rock or something.
FTV and FTV. Fuck the Bears and fuck the Vikings. Actually, Penei Sewell's contract doesn't start till 2026. Amon-Ra's doesn't start till next season, when we're supposed to have historic amounts of money. Sounds like a great deal to me.
I was going to say something, but I'm
I'm not.
saying comments.
I think Ryan Poles is playing checkers while everybody else plays chess around him. Because he hasn't fixed the O-line yet, and he's going to draft another quarterback that's going to bust out.
Yeah, he's a pawn.
That's not true. The executive of the year went to Brad Holmes last season. You are the weakest link. Goodbye. Paul Jones says, fuck the Packers, fuck the Bears, fuck SKOL, fuck Skull, and fuck Von Doom's team too.
Oh no. Von Doom's going to be like,
what?
And fuck Von Doom's team too. Huh.
Yep.
Okay. And Paul, I hope you go home one day and your wife, girlfriend, whatever it may be, boyfriend, I don't know, whatever you prefer, is getting pounded out by the mailman, your brother, and your neighbor on your kitchen table.
Dang.
And they're using fucking butter as lube.
Wait. Here he says drafting a QB with a broken leg. His leg wasn't broke. It was an ACL. There's a big difference, and the medical advances in the ACL surgeries is amazing. And it wasn't a gimmicky Tennessee offense.
No, it wasn't. He would have won Heisman, and he could have potentially been a top 5 pick if he didn't get hurt.
That they overpaid for Sweat for what he does.
Oh, yeah.
And Hooker was on Heisman watch.
He was. He was the clear favorite.
He was so far ahead of the game. He had 37 touchdowns after 8 games.
Insane.
He was still leading the Heisman 4 weeks after he got hurt until that week before the conference championship.
We did receive Heisman news today, though, which was pretty cool.
You better go watch the tape again. They said he gave up no sacks. God bless you. And I definitely saying good night. Too much profanity language coming from you all. I'm sorry. We believe in the freedom of speech. Lions
Swift's
only
better
run
pass
well.
rusher than Hush.
I think your defense is great and your O-line is trash. I think Swift is a bum that you guys overpaid for, no matter the cost, because he's only going to give you 2 or 3 good games.
And
Man, I've
Keenan
been giving him very
Allen,
credit all year. He's saying that stuff, man.
and
I know.
Keenan Allen is injury prone and old.
He
Keenan
still
Allen,
catches the shit out of the ball, though.
he does when he's on the field. That's all I got to say.
Best ability is availability, and Swift does not have that.
Nor does Keenan Allen.
Well, you're going to say that one day when you're in a bar, and I want you to remember what you just said.
I don't care.
You will the next morning.
We don't have CJGJ on the roster. Yeah, you do live under a rock. You haven't paid attention to the roster at all. He sucked. On live shows, they do not care. I have read the rules. You just can't type it.
Pretty much.
That's why they use the initials. Maybe if their offense can finally score more points than the other team.
I think the Bears have the potential to be a good team.
Worst to first happens every year. Not every year. Because if that's the case, the Panthers would have been at 2 years in a row.
Exactly.
Is there a delay on TV from what's being announced in person? Yes. Them playing against me. Well, that's fine. And there's a way to fix that too.
Goodbye.
No, I'm being a realist. You guys have said for 8 straight years, we're going to win the Super Bowl. You're almost as division-wise. Who is worse the first candidate? We didn't have one the last 2 years. Until you get an O-line, I don't believe it. Karen complained to the manager. What a surprise.
Nice. I think that's plus a few points. Nice call.
Houston, yes.
Was Houston the worst team last year?
We had the second
No,
pick.
it was the Bears. You're probably going to go get either a tight end or a wide receiver because that's what your GM does in the first round usually because he failed at Tevin Jenkins.
If he's smart, he takes the best available offensive tackle right there at 9. Second round.
Should trade back because they only got 5 picks this draft, maybe 6.
They have a second round pick though, don't they?
Yep.
Take your tackle there, then in the second round, you draft Brendan Rice, put him back with Caleb Williams, let him keep going.
I don't care what the Bears do. I just don't think they're going to be good next year either.
I think they're going to be better than they were this year, but not as good as the Bears fans think. That's just my personal opinion.
I think they're going to be.
Like I said, they're going to be better than last year, but not as good as the Bear fans think.
True.
Watkins is a way better receiver than St. Brown. Dude from this morning. Brock Bowers lined up against Jack Campbell as an automatic touchdown every time this year. Good luck with that. Because you got to go through more than him. Don't forget there's safeties back there that do know how to tackle.
Brian Branch knows how to knock people in their butt.
And so does Kirby. And hitting a player in the knee is not illegal.
Yep.
ACL waiting to happen. There'll be a lot more ACLs with that new wrap and roll tackle rule.
There will.
Hip drop rule, they call it. Locke's not ready for the season, speaking of ACL. He was ahead of the game. He was ahead of the rule. And believe it or not, there's about 42 cornerbacks and safeties that tackle that way, Cousin Jay. Nah, he's just being mad because he got hurt. But Hockenson got hurt his rookie year. He got hurt his second year. He didn't get hurt he did get hurt his third year. And then he was traded.
And then he got hurt again.
After he signed a massive deal.
He's so injury prone.
You know what? Even if it was intentional, who gives a shit? Football is a violent sport. You're gonna pay millions of dollars. Suck it up and shut the fuck up and go hurt somebody else.
I'm
sorry. They took the violence out of the game. The violence is the best part.
Cousin Jay.
Oh, so you're going to join your LBGTQB1.
I like that. That's so smart. Oh my god, that is perfect.
Better get thicker knee pads.
Did he say Caleb's going to be better than Goff?
T-Bone Lock says, go Lions. And he's right. It is go Lions.
Caleb's already better than freaking Goff. And he's not.
Yeah, I did that too. That was genius.
And Caleb wouldn't have won a Heisman if anybody that stayed healthy or played better in front of him. He was 6th in the voting that week. He won it by proxy. In Caleb's big year, he had elite wide receivers.
Going to have elite wide receivers again.
And he played worse. Oh, did I say that out loud?
No, I didn't hear that.
You know what? He may have played worse, but he still had a really good year, though.
Von Doom, who do you think the Giants take?
I really don't know. There's so many spots they need between quarterback, wide receiver, cornerback. But if they stay at 6, I really would not be surprised if they take Bowers or Joe Alt.
Nice.
8-5 is good. And Williams got bailed out on a lot of late flags. He sure did.
I don't care about his record or his stats, though. I think in college, guys had, 3-4 years and under 20 total interceptions with 80 touchdowns, if not more.
Daniel Jones would be good in the Lions offense. I think he would be too.
I think he'd be better than Goff in the Lions offense.
Garbage time stat padding and go 8-5. It is a team record. Let's get it right. Records are the team stat.
Very true.
Ben Johnson, the only reason why Goff is good, once he leaves, you guys are done. It's probably next season if we don't make a Super Bowl. Look at here. Adam Schefter reported there is no deal imminent for Goff, which means there's probably not going to be a deal for Goff because he wants to be paid this year and we don't have the cap room to do it. They're grooming Hendon Hooker to take over. As they should. I actually like Hooker. Goff and Johnson to Cowboys, like I said. He was my QB1 last season. Oh, you play Madden, huh?
You know what Cousin Jay probably does, Jeremy? He plays Madden. He wins the Super Bowl with the Bears on rookie, 100-something, nothing, shuts it off, and then he faces reality as a Bears
Bet the
fan.
Bears.
Oh, I'm not gonna say
Bet the Bears won a Super Bowl. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
I know my team sucks, but I admit my team sucks.
The Bears are one of the historically good franchises. Man.
Oh, I know.
But Bears defenses.
No, I know. I acknowledge a bit that team.
Any recommendations for parking? Get there really early in the day. Go to one of the casinos, play $100, and use the shuttle, and leave your car in the secured parking lot.
Nice.
Should I conceal and carry? I heard they are going to have the metal detectors up, so probably not.
It's Detroit.
I know as a member of the press, my bag gets searched for my equipment that I'm taking in and all that stuff.
Where do you think Eminem's going to be on the stage?
Eminem is performing at the draft.
Nice.
Panthers got to the NFC Championship like 2 years in existence. I was pissed. Yep, and that was when they drafted Cam Newton as a rookie, was it not?
2 years into existence would have been 1997.
97? Somewhere around there.
I want to say we played the Cowboys.
Was that with Mark Brunell and you guys made it to the NFC Championship game? Or
I want to say it was Kerry Collins or...
I think Goff better get a deal.
I gotta go.
Plays the preseason.
I gotta
okay,
go.
Yep, no problem. Yep. Have a good day, sir.
It was either Collins or Berline.
It was Brunell years.
Brunell never played for us.
Did he not? Oh, Jacksonville.
No, it was either Berline or
Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Yeah, Panthers didn't make it till who was that?
First Super Bowl?
Yeah, who was that?
03.
Your first one. 03. And that was new. What?
03 was Jake Delhomme.
Oh, that's right. That was the titty halftime show.
Yeah, that was when Terry became a legend.
Jake Delhomme. Yep. Yeah, what's weird is Justin Timberlake is loved now, and Janet Jackson can barely get played on the radio ever since that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but my team's as I know. To be honest, I wasn't the biggest Cam Newton fan either. Did Jeremy freeze? I think Jeremy froze for a minute, guys. Hold on. We're going to resolve it. Yep, you did, Orlando. It feels so weird being on the show myself. But yeah, the draft's tomorrow, guys. It's not my show, though. I'm not going to do it. Whoop.
I'm back.
Yeah, you froze. I was like, oh no, what did I do?
Yeah, I know. I accidentally hit the wrong setting and had to get the internet
It's
back.
Undone had a question for me, I think.
Yep. Will, who do you got the Panthers taking?
Man, so I think
you want to see some boobies at the draft, Cousin Jay says. But who you got to blame
you? I would say either Graham Barton or Xavier Leggett.
I think Graham Barton makes more sense.
I do too.
Will was so nervous. This isn't my show.
I wish Von Doom was here to fire up a mock, but I don't have any.
Yeah, it's getting late.
Yeah,
I got to start getting my stuff ready for the draft tomorrow. I'm excited. What do you guys think of the new shirt that Von Doom did for me?
I love it. I'm getting a blue one
Glad
in
you like.
soon, hopefully.
Nice dark charcoal gray to go along with the gray and black hat.
Hmm. I like it.
You ain't sleeping.
Who is?
What is
Oh,
the line taking in the first round? I think they trade back, Richard. Have
all
fun at the
points.
draft, boys.
Oh,
Stay safe and
I'm
good
not
job.
going.
Nice. And Dave Eastman says nice. He also made me one in the silverish gray too. So I got two of them.
Are you
And
wearing one of those to the draft tomorrow?
oh, 100% I'm wearing my Smoking Jeremy t-shirt to the draft. I just put this on for tonight to show it off. This is
What
coming
else
off.
are you packing?
Let's see. I'm going to take one of the blue ones. I'm going to take the silver one. I'm going to take this one. I'm going to take this hat, my South Florida Tribune hat, of course. I'm probably going to wear that in and have my Detroit Lions hat in the bag because that's what's going on when I do interviews with Lions prospects.
Would they let you get
What's up,
autographs
players?
or
Wanted
no?
to join you all tonight, but Dan is playing on the computer and practicing his Titan. He's picking it up quick. I will see you on the draft show tomorrow.
Will they let you get autographs?
The FTP show. Oh, I haven't done that yet. I'm gonna do that. I gotta do it. I got you. Little Dan practicing on the computer. It's all good. But that being said, it is time to talk about our sponsors. The first one is our favorite. Even Cousin Jay likes FTP. It's not the florist. Guess what it is?
Fuck the Packers.
It's undone. Will, Big Dan Davis, and Von Doom will be leading the live here. I will pop in periodically. I'm going to be doing a lot of interviewing. Hey, Cousin Jay, you're going to like this one. Yes, FTP is fuck the Packers, guys. But Cousin Jay, come back to the chat for a second. You're going to love this. He goes, hell yeah, shoot me a link for the draft show. So, Cousin Jay, if I get a chance to interview Caleb Williams for you, I'm going to tell him at the end of his speech to give a FTP to the microphone with a big hand up in the air before he walks off the stage.
Nice.
I'm so ready.
Yeah, I wish I was going. I know Germany's going to have a
Won't that
blast.
make this the most epic draft ever if I get Caleb Williams to do it? He goes, LOL, I love it. FTP. I'm not going to tell him what it means. I'm just going to say he's going to endear himself to every fan base other than the Packers by doing it.
I hope you can
Especially
gift
his
it.
own. Is that not true, Cousin Jay? If he comes out and does an FTP like that, he could probably get a job with any team in the NFC North but the Packers after that.
Yep.
Even if it's just a towel boy, water boy, or a coach. Just say.
Or the butler for the team.
I know the butlers are usually people that couldn't play at all.
I thought that was
He can
Caleb
play a
Williams.
little. He can play a little. I'm not going to totally knock him. He is being touted as the number one pick in the draft.
True.
But according to Lindy Sports, he's the sixth best quarterback in the draft.
Wow.
But because of his athleticism and having a Heisman in his trophy case, he'll probably get pick number one, is exactly what they said.
Yep.
Put it on a cue card so they Ron Burgundy it. Yes!
I love it. I love it.
But I'm also, anybody that it looks like the Lions are doing, it is this periodical that's been being put out for the last 40 years. That is Lindy Sports Pro Football Draft 2024. In the Zone podcast, y'all go. Yes, I will be in attendance as a member of Media Row. but we will have a live draft show here. But I
And
do
I
have
will
to
be
give
on that.
the paying sponsors. Those are antiques now, but you know what? I still buy one every year because the in-depth stuff that they do about strengths and weaknesses of every player is actually spot on.
Do they do comps like close to blah
Oh
blah
yeah,
blah?
the pro comp.
I love it.
I actually think you guys would be better off getting Keon Coleman for what you need.
Who?
Get a player. Yeah, I'm going to work on it. What I was thinking about doing is just sitting there with my phone and filming them one after the other. Hey, check out Lions Talk with Smoke and Jeremy B. Check out Lion Talk with Smoke and Jeremy B. Check out Lions Talk with Smoke and Jeremy B.
You know what you should do, Jeremy? I know you need to get to your other sponsors. You should have like each of us, like me, Von Doom, whoever, regulars, do little clips for that.
You guys can do that on your own and just send it to me through Messenger.
Okay. I'll
That
send
is
you
cool.
one.
In the Zone podcast, I'm happy to hear it.
Awesome. When it comes here, I'm going.
Oh yeah, I mean, if it comes to your now, there was a guy that's a Chiefs fan and lives here in Detroit. And he goes, "I'm so uninspired by this draft. I'm going golfing instead." You want to know what my response was to him?
It's a once in a lifetime
How do you
thing.
announce you're gay without saying you're gay? Where am I from? I am from Burton, Michigan. Right here. I write for the Motor City Tribune, which is owned for the South Florida Tribune. I was found on his podcast. It's where I met Will. It's where I met lots of great guys like Mel Farr Jr., Mel Farr's son. This big for the city. Yes.
Yep.
Yay, you talking about my new QB1 now. No.
He finally caught on to it.
Will is from Carolina.
Yes.
Tomorrow I may not be able to do a show at 11 a.m. because I'll be checking into the hotel. I may have to run it a little bit late, but I'm going to try to do one before we head out, unless the schedule just doesn't allow it, because I got to do whatever the publisher needs, because he's the one that got me the press credential. So that comes first. So I might not do an 11 a.m. show tomorrow, but I will do it Friday from the hotel.
Are you
There won't-
staying at the hotel?
I'm staying at a hotel.
I'm happy.
It depends on what time I get into the hotel room, Cousin Jay. But I will be doing a post-draft show. How long is my flight? 45 minutes. I drive there.
Jeremy, when's the post draft show? Sunday?
No, the post-draft show is always on Monday because I wait till we have all the UDFAs signed. That 24-hour period when the UDFAs are signed, because I don't only like to go into depth about the draft, the scouting, the people that we drafted. I like also scouting the people we get in UDFAs. And people say that doesn't matter, but because of injuries, UDFAs take a big part of playing in starting players' absence.
Yep. I'll talk to you post stream.
The South Florida Tribune is in Florida, but the Motor City Tribune is out of Detroit. He bought that when he was in Detroit and he moved to Florida. He bought the name and added it to the South Florida Tribune webpage.
Yep.
The South Florida Tribune is out of Miami, but the Motor City Tribune is out of Detroit. It's also in conjunction with the Motor City Monitor and a couple other publications that are local. But I'm in Burton, Michigan. They drove up here last Friday, my
Can't believe
publisher
it.
and his wife.
Yep.
You're late to the party, Cousin Jay.
Anyway.
He literally had a podcast called Inside the Pigskin that I was a part of, Cousin Jay. And they were talking about our previous coaching staff and front office, Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia. And I literally put in the chat, Boob Quinn and Matt Patricia. And that got me in with Scott Morganroth.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it did.
Patty Grimes gives a what's up. Well, it is time to do this. I got to get this done because I can't leave a show without saying this. Gloucester Grand, the best window tinner in Saginaw, located at 409 Hamilton Street in Saginaw. His number there is 989-443-9240. Give a call to get your windows tinted or your car detailed. He does excellent work like this 300 C-Class or this Audi SUV. I'm working on him to get me some more pictures from the new location because that's when he used to do it out of the shop where I worked, doing tires called A1 Tire. And I say worked because that's past tense. I haven't worked there in over a year. Now I work for Brandon's Tire right at the corner of South Grand Traverse and West Atherton Road, right by the southbound 475 Atherton Road exit. Stop in and check us out. We got great prices on used tires, and we can get great prices on new tires too. Mention this ad if you're buying a set of tires, you will get $10 off. The number there to get a quote for new tires is 810-233-8230. Ask for George, Red, or myself, Smoking Jeremy B. Missing Todd McVeigh right now. These pre-draft shows are terrible.
Yeah.
So are you asked to write articles about the draft then? Yes, I cover the draft. I do it mostly about the Lions. I actually do one about the NFC North in general and do the way too early draft grades because I feel that draft grades shouldn't be done until after year 3 myself. And he goes, I missed the Patricia days. Easy wins for my Bears. Yes, they were. But you know what? You also had your winningest quarterback in that time with your regime. Who was that? Mitch Trubisky
Mm-hmm.
against the Lions.
Mm-hmm.
But we got all the sponsors in. Yeah, the anybody got a late round pick you want to know anything about? Because I'll look up and give you their strength and weakness. Give me somebody that you want to know. What position?
Let's do Quantez Stiggers. I want to hear his pro
Montez
comp.
Sewell is not listed because he is too far back in the cornerback list to make it.
Is Seal Boy there?
Stiggers. Okay, you do want to hear about Stiggers, so I have to go off of my draft notes because I had to research everything on myself. Sion Vaki, let me see what I can do on that. I believe he's in here. Safeties. Sion Vaki. He is considered the 10th best. That is, he's 5'11 and 211 pounds. He had a 4.52 40, so he's on the slower side. Uh, do it all playmaker who started 17 career games and lined up at safety, running back, and wildcat formation quarterback in 2023. Vaki entered the draft his 2-year church mission in 2 seasons with the Utes. He makes plays on defense and consistently stood out with the ball in his hands on offense, rushing for 158 yards and 2 touchdowns against Cal, catching 2 50-yard, 3-yard touchdown passes and a sack and a receiving touchdown against Washington. His strength is short area quickness. Twitch allows him to recalibrate angles and adjust on the fly as a tackler and a coverage defender. Unmatched versatility, running back, safety, linebacker, and capable of returning kickoffs. Instinctive runner with impressive vision. Should draw draftable grades as a running back from some teams. Special teams potential translate easily. Weaknesses. More of a close quarter standout athlete rather than the type who can run stride for stride with vertical threats. Instincts needs tuning due to mental mistakes in coverage, takes poor angles to the ball and will run himself out of the plays on a regular basis. Had trouble keeping up with the speed of Oregon's offense. More of a hit ricochet tackler than a type to wrap up cleanly. With the new rules, you don't want him to wrap up. Pro comp is Godwin Igwebuike. That's not a good sign for me.
I don't even know who that is.
Luther Ellis's son. Godwin Igwebuike, the running back that couldn't hold the ball for Detroit, but he could return it like a mofo.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah, that guy. Defensive ends. Dum, 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 dum. Well, so far this is not looking good. Okay, so now I got to go to sleepers and possible bus. Who's next? He's not listed there. Well, according to this, they ranked 22 of them, and he's not listed in it for the defensive ends. Uh, small scoop. Heck yes, any man. Heck yes, pay that man. St. Brown and Goff. Sewell is absolutely priority. Well, Adam Schefter reported that there is no deal being done with Goff in the imminent future. The sleeper to watch for in the draft at defensive end is Eric Watts out of Connecticut, the small school stud, and considered the fifth best. Fifth best. They rank him above Chop Robinson, Marshawn Nealon.
Really? Wow.
Jonathan Haidt said, "Oh no," but we got Sewell and we got St. Brown done.
Yep.
And it's because Goff is going to bank on having another good year. What do they say about Xavier Leggett? I just read this earlier. I think he was up pretty high in there. Xavier Leggett, 6'1", 225, 40 time, 4.43, second round projection. St. Brown got paid today. Yes, sir. 4 years, $120 million, but it's paid out over a 5-year contract. There's a void year in the 5th year where he's not on the roster, but he's still being paid. It breaks down to $24.67 million. Strengths, impressive body type that would make some box safety jealous. Strong route runner with the balance and physicality to fight through contact. Impressive at high pointing the football. Dominated Georgia's secondary with the ball in the air. Flashes the hand-eye coordination and the catch radius to reel in misplaced passes. Capable deep threat with the speed to separate for typical height, weight, and wheels to make an impact on special teams. Experienced kick returner with proven toughness for the job. Weaknesses. Had some lumbering moments when changing his route tempo against North Carolina. Tends to leave his feet prematurely and opens up at the catch point so defenders can knock the ball away. And more of an athletic phenom than a refined receiver at this point in his career. Inefficient hands when working to free himself from press coverage. Routes lack nuance or deceptiveness. Doesn't play up to his size with the ball in the hands. Run limitations after the catch. Could limit his touches early in his career. Tends to body catch when he is not under duress. Pro comp at best is Cordarrelle Patterson, but in all actuality, his grade is well under DK Metcalf's, Cordarrelle Patterson's when they were coming out of college.
Very cool.
And it's because he can do the kick returns and all that. That's why they say Cordarrelle Patterson. He might transition to running back later on because of his hands issues if he can't get them right. Which is exactly what happened to Cordarrelle Patterson, if you remember right.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I need to know Brian Thomas because I can't see it. I'm going to go straight to his weaknesses because as soon as I read it, you're going to know.
Who asked for Brian Thomas?
Orlando Escobedo Jr., of course.
It's like you're reading us a bedtime story, Jeremy.
Yeah. Brian Thomas Jr., 40 time, 4.5, 6.4, 205 pounds. For that height, that's awfully light. Weaknesses. There are two main concerns with Thomas. Mostly is that he played with an extraordinary gifted supporting cast, including a few projected first-rounders like Malik Neighbors at wide receiver and Jaden Daniels at quarterback. The fact kept defenses from double-teaming him. Furthermore, there are some drops on tape, and a majority of them came with defenders in close proximity, which will happen more often for the NFL. For the nitpickers, Thomas also lacks the special team experience, and he only makes wide open catches. He is not a contested catch threat.
That's bad.
And the fact that he doesn't have great hands is not a good thing.
Yeah. Do you think he would translate to another position if need be?
Adonai Mitchell, 6'3", 196. Oh, so no like him. How the hell is he ranked so high? Because he played at LSU. Strength, lightning quick off the snap, can disappear out the side door against press coverage. Balance and body control allow him to be creative with his release package in ways most receivers aren't. Able to track passes over his shoulders without losing speed or positioning. Flows easily through changes of direction. Has a feel for twisting and turning into the air to adjust for misplaced passes. Weaknesses, he goes on autopilot and coasts through his routes when the ball isn't coming his way. Lets his focus drift as a blocker. Body language and head movement don't sell his routes or set up defenders. Has a hitch coming out of his stance that slows down his route quite a bit. Doesn't play up to his size at the catch point. Too reliant on letting passes into his frame. Ability after the catch doesn't stand out from his peers. Traits don't suggest a home on special teams at the NFL level. Hot and cold player who will worry scouts with his energy. But his pro comp, Galik Marashi, welcome and good evening. I'm glad you came in here from Daytona. Marashi, excuse me, let me say that. I love the signings today. I did too. A little selfish, not too bad.
Who's his pro comp?
George Pickens.
Ooh.
That's actually pretty damn good because George Pickens had the exact same weaknesses when he came out of college.
Yeah.
21 hours and 40 minutes. Let's go. It's the bad guy, John Kapler, in the house.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Pickens is great. That's Adonai Mitchell's pro comp. They had the exact same weaknesses coming out of college and the exact same strengths.
Yep. Well,
You gotta hop off. I know you gotta work tomorrow, right?
no rush.
No? Okay.
No,
rush.
I do. I have 6 a.m., but I'd rather talk to you instead.
I'm no longer feeling like we might get a wide receiver, so bummed hearing that. We will get a wide receiver. It just won't be in the first round. I've said this. I've said it was a chance, but at the fact that we don't have an X, we do have a Y, and we have a Z. That's what we have right now. Are we keeping Goff this season? Absolutely. But according to Adam Schefter, there is no imminent deal in the future for Goff this offseason.
Yep.
In other words, the contract talks never got to where both sides could agree, and there's no deal being done. Same. Let's talk ball 6 a.m. Work, but I don't give a fuck. LOL Lions. Lions work comes and goes.
I like that.
I'm excited for what's going to be happening. I'll tell you that.
I wouldn't be able to sleep.
No, the Tigers came back, but still lost 5-7 to the Rays in Tampa. The Rays are a good team. Unless Hooker looks amazing in preseason, I still think if he looks amazing in preseason, we're keeping Goff. I have said this ever since the offseason started. Jeff Risdon backed it up. What was it, 6 weeks ago when Is Undone announced it? That Jeff Risdon said that after talking with the team. Yeah, I got that 11 a.m. energy right now. Yes, sir, Orlando. Okay, thank you. I do like Goff, and I don't know much about Hooker. I'll get into that in a minute. I will talk about Hendon Hooker in detail about what I think of him. But right now, I said all off season, and Jeff Risdon backed it up. There is probably not going to be a deal done with Goff, and Goff is okay not holding out and playing through it because he knows he's banking on his future to make more money next year. And with us only having a little bit of cap room, we can't afford to give him the raise he wants.
Yep.
We finally have a starter and a true backup is what I feel and can start in Hooker. So let's just keep it going. Yeah, absolutely. That's where I'm at. And I think Hooker is a future starter. I think he's being groomed to take over. If they can't get a deal done with Goff in the next offseason, Goff is going to walk. Holmes was Hooker's godfather or something like that. He knows. What it was is he was studying for his master's degree in sports management, and he went back to get that at UNC Greensboro, which is his apartment was across the street from Hendon Hooker's middle school field. He's been scouting Hooker since then. And then after watching him, he wanted to go talk to Hooker's parents because he saw Hooker run to the stands after games and practices. So he went and it struck a friendship up. So they became such good friends during that year that he was at UNC when he was the Southeastern Conference scout for the Rams, that he was actually invited over for family functions. He was at the family reunions. He was at like any type of the holidays other than Christmas when he had to be with his family and his children. But the wife and kids would go with him. They played with Hendon Hooker. They grew up knowing this kid. He scouted him for 10 years.
And I
That tells
love
you all you need to know about how much he tracked and why he said exactly what he said when he called Hooker on draft night. Man, it's so great to call this Greensboro number. You ready to be a lion? That was what he said. Remember that?
I was about to say, I'm like, I loved when he
There was
said
the
that.
key word in there. He said this Greensboro number. He didn't say a Greensboro number. He said this
This
Greensboro number
North
because he's been
Carolina represent,
10
baby.
years.
UNCG. I know some people went to school there.
Andrew Isham, great question. How do we know that Hendon Hooker will prosper here in Detroit? Well, let's look at it this way. He transferred to Tennessee, and because he was a redshirt, he really didn't get to practice a lot, and he was focused on his studies, where he was studying in business management and leadership, the type of stuff that CEOs take. When he came out the next year, their quarterback got hurt. I think it was like 3 or 4 weeks, and I can't remember who it was then, and he took over. He only threw 2 interceptions that year in 8
Yep.
games or 9 games. His plan the whole time, he was stoked Hooker was only a third rounder. Uh, I'm going to make some key things because Will was on the show, and I'll talk about that here in a minute. When I said it live on this very podcast that night, it was a Wednesday night, the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, I believe it was, wasn't it, Will?
I do believe so, yes.
Okay. So, anyways, so he's been around Hooker the whole time. Hooker knows how to learn a playbook, and we're giving him the same amount of time that Tennessee gave him to learn a playbook. With Goff being able to be here as a starter, is what I'm getting at. This is his first full off season to work out, just like it was the first full season.
And hasn't he trained with Bridgewater?
Didn't think the same thing with Harrington, but he wasn't mobile at all. Gotcha. I understand that. So let's look at what Hooker did in that 8 games before he got hurt. He was head and shoulders 20 touchdowns ahead of the next guy at quarterback for the Heisman race. JMO's back along with Hendon Hooker because the vet come-in day came. Remember, they had the veteran mandatory workout starting last week. They were all back. But they're probably heading back down there now that that little workout time is over because it's draft time. So Hendon Hooker had 37 touchdowns through the air, 2 interceptions in 8 games.
It's amazing.
That's averaging 4.2 touchdowns per game.
Yep.
He threw 2 interceptions. Divide that by 8.
Yeah.
That's a 0.26% interception rate. Touchdown interception rate is insane. J-Mo knows we're trading Goff. I'm convinced. Oh, dang. I meant to say, didn't we think? No, I didn't think that about Joey Harrington at all. As a matter of fact, I hated the pick because his career completion percentage at Oregon was 58%. I never had the faith that Joey Harrington would be the guy. Plus, his best wide receiver on the time was Charles Rogers and Pegleg Crowell. Eric Whitson comes back in with another Go Lions. Thank you, brother. Derek Carr wasn't much better, nor was David Carr wasn't much better. Derek Carr is much better than his brother was.
Yes.
But as we can see, now that John Gruden's not on that team, John Gruden is more of a QB whisperer than people thought. Because remember, he also got Brad Johnson to win a Super Bowl.
Yep.
Who does Brad Holmes trade up for if he does trade up? I'm 99.9% sure he's not trading up by what Dan said. Andrew Isham says, well, back to work for me. I work the night shift. Well, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. But I just love talking football. I love going through what I know and the stuff I live and breathe this stuff.
Mm-hmm. Same.
John's still blackballed or he gets another. He won the court case versus the NFL, and they had to release all 50,000 emails that were investigated. He could get another shot, but I think he'll end up back in the broadcast booth. Myself, I don't think he wants to be the head of a team anymore. I think that last little stint and everything that was done against him left a sour taste in his mouth.
Yep. I agree.
Unless Antonio Pierce shits the bed for the Raiders, I think the Raiders would give him another shot. They like hiring people that were former felons and suspended.
Yeah, they do.
He is still young. It's all clickbait. None of it's real. They're talking about trading back, is what they said today. He traded up for J-Mo with the Rams pick. He has never traded up in the first round with a Detroit Lions pick. He has only traded back with the Detroit Lions picks. Tom Brady clickbait got me. Well, guys, I'm going to end the show so I can get busy doing some laundry, cleaning this place up, getting things packed up and ready to rock, because all I want to do is walk out the door, go to the car, and head to Farmington Hills to the Red Roof Inn and check in. Much love to everybody in the chat. I want to say thank you to all the new people that tuned in. Thank you to people that I haven't heard from much. T-Bone Locks, Andrew Isham, Junior there, Orlando Escribano Jr., Smoking Dad, John Kapler. And what pick was that? We traded up with the 32nd pick from the Rams, and then we traded back with the Rams pick. We've only traded back in the later rounds with the Lions picks. See you tomorrow, bud. We are ready. Roar restored. I like it. Roar. Make it sound like a roar. Why not? Oh, I'm excited. I think it's going to be an amazing day. I'd
be crying. Dude, I'd be crying. I'm so happy for you.
But thank you so much, everybody. Try every day to be a better person than you were the day before. It's the only way to make the world a better place. Much love, everybody. Peace, love, and chicken grease. Spade and neuter your bear.